Do you have a website for your business? Is your website your business? Then you want to stay tuned because today's video is going to help you protect both your business and your website moving forward into 2020. Let's do this. Hi, my name is Jim Hart. I'm excited to be back with you here again today. I am the founding attorney here at Hawthorn Law, where we help online entrepreneurs to get their legal house in order so that they can focus on what they do best. Focus on what you do best, and that is build something that truly matters in the world. I'm super excited to be talking to you about today's topic. It's going to be 5 things that you need to be doing to protect your business, whether it's an online business, offline business, it doesn't matter. But these are things that you need to do to protect your business, and let's jump into it. If you're running a business either online or offline, then you probably want things to run smoothly. You want the government out of your hair, you want to protect your intellectual property, and you want to keep people from suing you either because they used your product in the way they shouldn't use your product, or maybe they relied upon advice that you gave on your blog and they didn't follow the advice correctly, and so they ended up getting hurt in some fashion or suffered some sort of damages. Chances are you don't want any of that to happen, and you want to limit any potential liability that could come your way. Am I right? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if I'm on the right track here. I think that's probably most people that are doing business, whether it's online or offline. This channel focuses mostly on the online business, so chances are that's something that you're concerned about and you want to make sure you're protected from. Well, today I'm going to share with you 4 things that you can do to keep your website and your business protected in an increasingly online business environment. Let's jump into that. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you have a privacy policy. I realize this is elementary. I realize a lot of you are watching and are like, whoa, dude, privacy policy? Really? That's what you're going to tell us? Privacy policy? But this is serious. This is important stuff, and you need to be aware of it. There are privacy laws in place now that are completely different than they were 5 years ago, even 10 years ago. Back when I started out online, it was around, I started my law firm online maybe 15 years ago, but when we really started getting online was maybe 8 or 10 was maybe 2012, 2013. That was like 7 years ago. Privacy policies, I remember the first time I posted a lead generation ad on my website, I didn't have a privacy policy. And the first time I knew that was an issue was Google told me, okay, we're not gonna run your ad because you don't have a privacy policy. I thought, okay, I'm gonna slap up some words on there, we're gonna be good. That's the way it used to be. Things are different now. There's legal rules. There's stuff you gotta follow. If you do not, you run the risk of getting fined, having somebody sue you for violating their privacy. This stuff, California's got their own set of rules. The European Union has their own set of rules, GDPR. This is important. You need to take this seriously, and it's not good enough to just go online, find a privacy policy that's being used by somebody else, and copy and paste it into your website, because it needs to be customized somewhat to what you're doing. Was that a bit of a rant? I think that was kind of a bit of a rant. So what is a privacy policy? A privacy policy is a web page on your site that basically tells users what you're doing with their information, what information you're collecting from them, and how they can opt out should they choose to opt out from that information. It's really important that you have this page on your website. This is just a little too bright for me. All right, I think that's a little better. I'm starting to see a big ring. So why do you need a privacy policy? Because in today's internet age, like I said, there's laws about this now. This is highly regulated. People's privacy is very important. If you live in California or you're doing business with people that are in California, there's the CCPA, which is a privacy act for California that they've enacted as a state. And I know for a fact that a lot of you are in California because I can see the analytics on my YouTube channel. It tells me where you're from. So you need to make sure you're following these rules. We also get some people that watch here from the European Union. GDPR is a real thing. You can get in a lot of trouble if you're not following the procedures from the European Union on how to make sure you're protecting people's information in the right way. You need to make sure you're following all these rules. So that's number 1, privacy policy. Let's jump to number 2. Number 2 is terms and conditions. You have to have these on your website. Now, I'm not going to go off on as much of a soapbox about terms of use as I was about the privacy policy, but it's still an important page that you need to have on your website, because it's basically a contract between you and the people that visit your website that tells them what they can do on your website and what they can't do on your website. It also serves the dual role of protecting you in terms of limiting your potential liability should someone come on your website, use your information, and then hurt themselves using it. So a great example would be, let's say, a stock trader who gives information about stocks and bonds on their website. There's a lot of these people out there. If they don't have the proper terms of use on their website and the proper disclaimers, we're going to get to that in a second, on their website about what people can and can't do with that information, or what people should or shouldn't do with that information, and somebody goes out there and starts buying options, and then the market crashes the way it did last week because of the coronavirus scare, these people are going to be in big trouble. People can come back and actually sue them as the website owner or the LLC that they're under. Pro tip, you should have an LLC. We're not going to go into that today, but you should. Then that's a problem, and the terms of use on your website are what are going to protect you from that. So as I said before, basically a terms of use on your website, or they're also called terms and conditions, is a standard contract between you and anyone who will visit your website. It talks about what they can and can't do on your website. Why do you need it? Because it protects you against people that are going to want to sue you after visiting your website. One thing that's important to note here, if you're a financial blogger, your contract on your website is going to be different than if you're an affiliate marketer. And if you're an affiliate marketer, your contract is going to be different than if you're a consultant or a coach. And if you're a consultant or a coach, your contract is going to be different than if you sell products on your website and then you have an e-commerce site. So these terms and conditions are highly dependent on the type of industry you're in. And that's something that's very important for you to understand as you're crafting these documents for your website, or if you go to a lawyer and ask a lawyer to do it for you. By having a terms of use on your website, you can limit the fallout if somebody decides that they want to sue you because they took action on the information that's on your website. You can limit where they can sue you. You can limit the amount of damages they may be entitled to recover from you if they do sue you. You can even insert things like arbitration clauses so that people are forced to arbitrate the dispute before going to court over whatever it is they want to sue you for. In addition, these terms of use really should be also protecting you from what people might do on your website. So in this world of social media and everything else where people can go on websites and comment and post and do different things, you want to make sure they're not posting information or materials that might belong to some third party. And so you want to make sure you're not inadvertently violating a copyright or trademark or some other type of intellectual property for someone else because of something that someone does on your website that you have no control over. And so your terms of use can dictate how they can comment on your site, what they're allowed to do on your website, what they're not allowed to do on your website, and things of that sort as well. I'm getting a little, you know what time it is. Cheers. It's actually a little late in the day here today. Normally I film these things first thing in the morning. Today it's almost 5 o'clock, so I'm a little bit on the tired side. I had a great day. We went to see NC State basketball game. I'm not an NC State fan, but you know, it's where I live. Took the kids, they had a lot of fun. Anyway, a little tired today, but let's press on, shall we? All right, the third thing you need to do to protect your online business is assuming you are selling something, which many of you will be unless you're just a purely affiliate marketer, but if you are selling something, if you're selling a product or coaching services or regular services or whatever it is that you might be selling, you need an online terms of sale on your website. This is a separate page from the terms of use, which is a contract between you and people that visit your website for free. This is a contract between you and people that actually spend money to purchase products from you. This is a really important document that you need to have on your website. So you need this because if a transaction goes south, let's say somebody invests in a course and you're one of these people that has, a high-end course out there that's like $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, and somebody buys that course from you, and then let's say after 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, they decide, you know what, I'm out. I don't want to get, this course is not going to work for me. Well, what does that mean? What's going to happen? Do you have a refund policy in your terms of sale? Do you have a warranty provision? Like let's say they work through the course and then, it doesn't work for them. Do you have a warranty that they can invoke or not invoke if something like that happens? So these are all things that you want to put in your terms of sale with the buyer. Also, you want to make sure your intellectual property is protected. So if somebody comes online and they purchase your course and then, a couple weeks later you start seeing your course listed somewhere else under somebody else's name, but it's all the same material, that's not cool, and you need to make sure that's protected as well. And you can do that with a terms of sale and with other software that you can get out, plugins and various things that will lock down your videos, lock down the content of your course, so people would have to quite literally retype everything or reshoot all the videos to to steal your content. I guess there's other ways they could do it too, but we're not going to get into that. Trust me, I've dealt with a lot of clients over the years, and believe it or not every client is a great client. Sometimes things do go south, and you want to make sure that you have that contract in place so that if things do go south, that you're protected and that you can enforce your legal rights should you need to do so. And the only way to do that is if you have a terms of sale on your website that somebody can look at, check the box, that they understand these are the terms when they purchase your product. Very important. Right. The last thing I want to talk about is disclaimers. Disclaimers are super important, and they're going to be very customized to whatever industry you're in. But basically what a disclaimer does is it says to somebody who comes to your website, hey, listen, what I talk about here, these might be unusual results. You need to seek out the help of a professional before you follow this advice. You can't rely on this. I am not your lawyer, doctor, accountant, whatever. I'm not your coach. I'm not talking to you specifically. This is general advice. This is for informational purposes only. All these type of things may potentially need to go into your disclaimer that's on your website or incorporated into your terms of use or terms of sale. And so basically what a disclaimer is, it's a notice that's put on your website that tells people to basically beware. This is a website. It's free. It's information. Treat it as such. Treat it with the respect it deserves. Don't go out and use this information if you don't know what the F you're doing, okay? Just don't do it. So where these things come in really handy is when somebody does decide to sue you, they are a great defensive tool that you can use in a lawsuit to protect you from some sort of claim that somebody might bring against you. Now you need to be careful because you need to know that no two businesses are the same, which means that no two disclaimers are going to be the same. Your disclaimer, again, just like the terms and conditions, the terms of use, the terms of sale, just like all those documents, the legal disclaimers that you're going to put on your website need to be customized for your specific business. Just to have a blanket one-size-fits-all disclaimer on your website is not going to cut it. They need to be specific. So there you have it. The 4 things that you really need to do to protect your business, whether it be an online or offline business, and your website from people that might want to come after you. Just to recap what we talked about, we've got the privacy policy, the terms of use, the terms of sale, and the legal disclaimers. All very important documents, all serve a very specific role, and all will have a role in protecting you and limiting your liability should somebody come after you later on. Right here is a link to my small business toolkit. I'm really excited about this. It's going to contain lots of information and tools and templates to help you implement all the things that we talked about on today's video in a way that's going to be customized to you and is going to help you save a tremendous amount of money versus going to see a lawyer and drafting all these documents for you. Check it out. We will see you in the next video. Peace out, folks.